Hello everyone, it's Jared again with Desert Ruach Ministry. And in the previous video, we took a look at one of Mark's main literary themes, and particularly his use of the term eutheos, which is often translated as immediately, and how he uses that to not only unite the whole of his text, but how he looks to use it to evoke a response from his reader. Today, as we look to close out Mark chapter 1, we will be taking a look at Jesus' healing of the man with leprosy. And as we usually do, we will be looking to its Old Testament origins so that we can properly understand its New Testament context. Now, in the Old Testament, the high priest was not somebody who could heal a person with leprosy. The best that they could do was diagnose and declare a person to either be clean or unclean. Additionally, a person who was given the status as unclean, it was seen as a death sentence, as that person was exiled from the community. And furthermore, a person who was diagnosed with leprosy was often seen to be the result of someone who lived a sinful life. And so, to this end, to heal a person with leprosy was on par with raising a person from the dead, something that Mark is looking to foreshadow in his passage here. So we can see in these short 5 verses that Mark is not only painting a picture of Jesus as someone with a divine status, as he not only diagnoses the man, but he actually heals him, meaning he has greater power and authority than a high priest. Furthermore, this is a picture of Jesus as someone who has the ability to forgive sins, something that ultimately will lead to his death, and which has the people calling him blasphemy, as this is a clear indication that he is putting himself on equal footing with God. Additionally, we can see that this is a picture of Jesus as someone who doesn't mock at the Mosaic covenant. Jesus is the one who gave the Mosaic covenant. His problem wasn't with it, his problem was with the abuse of it and how the people were interpreting it. Jesus didn't come teaching anything new. What Jesus taught was proper exegesis. What Jesus taught was proper interpretation of the text. Additionally, we can see that this is a picture of Jesus not just being a legalist. Jesus actually reaches out and touches the man, something that breaks the commandment, the Mosaic commandments, as a person with leprosy was not to be touched, as they were exiled, and they were actually told to go around proclaiming unclean, unclean, so that people would not draw near to them. This is something that Mark is really looking to do in his passages, as this is a picture of Jesus taking those who are outside and now making them fit to be insiders. Jesus forgives their sins, he heals them, he transforms them, and he brings them into the community. Last time we took a look at that, Jesus doesn't go and tell people, heal them and tell them to go away. He heals them and he brings them into the community. So this is what we can see happening here in this short passage. Jesus' divine status being declared as someone who heals and as someone who forgives sins. Jesus as someone who not only looks to keep the Mosaic commandments, but breaks them when it's necessary, and he has compassion on the man. So to this end, to espouse a little bit on this text, if you will, there are many today who like to boldly and foolishly claim, where does Jesus say I am God in the text? Well, he actually does that in a lot of places, and we'll get to those passages eventually for sure. But more importantly, for someone to declare themselves God, it does nothing to actually prove that. So this is what Mark's gospel is all about. It is not about what Jesus said, but what Jesus did that proves him to be who he says he is by the things that he does. If I stand here and declare myself God, well, that's great. Now, how do I prove that? Right? Jesus is the only person who actually does that. He does that by raising a man from the dead, right? This is a death sentence we see here. It's something that's foreshadowing Jesus' own rising from the dead. Jesus raises Lazarus from the dead. Jesus as a picture of Jesus as one who forgives sins. Jesus as one who takes the outsiders and brings them in. So I hope this is just another example and picture of what it means to do proper exegesis so that we can understand the picture that the New Testament authors are looking to put forth. Because if you miss the real message, then you miss the real Jesus. And if you miss the real Jesus, well, then you start making out one of your own being. And that obviously is going to present some problems. Something that we can see pretty clearly in our own day and time. So I hope this is helpful, and I hope that you'll join us in the future. And my prayer for you in the meantime is that the Holy Spirit chase you down and the living God prick your heart. God bless and peace.